thank you everybody for attending. This is a public meeting for the Chapala Street Bridge Replacement Project. My name is Adam Hendel, City of Santa Barbara Supervising Engineer. I'll be managing this project for the city. I'm really excited about this project. This is the first of 3 bridges that the city is going to be replacing in this neighborhood. We've recently been replacing bridges on the other side of the freeway. So we're coming down to your neighborhood, the West Beach neighborhood, Lower State Street area, Chapala Street at Chapala and Unanolly Street. So tonight we're here to answer questions about construction impacts. We're going to give a quick overview and then open it up for question and answers. I have a few people here I'd like to introduce. To my left is Kirsten Ayers with Ayers & Associates. She's helping me get the word out about this project and has a lot of experience on projects like this. And then I have the M&S engineers team. This is Craig Fracke and Greg Cellini. They'll be helping me out with construction management on this project. Granite Construction Company, they're the construction contractor. They were recently awarded the contract to rebuild the bridge, and they'll be starting in June. And so with that, we have a short presentation. I'm going to hand it off to Kirsten, and she'll go through the presentation, and then we'll have questions. Kirsten.
Okay, so I'm going to walk you through the project overview, which is pretty quick. It takes about 5 minutes. So this project is fairly simple, which is great. And it also has a fairly short time frame, which I think you'll appreciate. So as Adam mentioned, we're looking at the Chapala Street Bridge. And this is the bridge located at the intersection of Chapala and Unanolly. And here's a photo of it. As you can see, it's not necessarily the prettiest neighborhood bridge you've ever seen. It's over 100 years old. It was built in 1909. And in general, these types of bridges were built to last about 100 years. You can see that we're over that at this point, so it's definitely time to replace it. It's actually been deemed structurally deficient by Caltrans, and all that basically means is that it's definitely time to replace it and get a new bridge. And then, as Adam mentioned, this is one of 3 bridges in the Lower Mission Creek area that's going to be replaced in the Lower State Street area. So we're going to have this bridge replaced, and then downstream from it, we're going to have 2 more bridges replaced with city projects. The county also has some flood control projects. Adam also mentioned that this is one in a series of bridges on Mission Creek that are being replaced. So you may have heard about the bridge at the intersection of Haley and De La Vina. That was replaced a couple years ago. Last year we replaced the bridge on Ortega Street. So you can see the bridges along Mission Creek were built all about the same time, about 100 years ago. And they've all come to the end of their useful life. It's time to replace those. So, okay. So this project I mentioned has a fairly short construction time frame, and it's going to start in the next few weeks here in June, and it's going to run through the end of the year, so about winter 2014. It's probably going to end either this year or the beginning of next year, depending on how construction goes. The overall project cost is about $3.2 million, and the majority of those funds are from a grant from the Federal Highway Bridge Program, and then the remainder, which is a small amount, come from city funds. Here's a map showing you the project location, and since it's a pretty small neighborhood, you're probably very familiar with where the bridge is. But what we wanted to show you with this project location map is that the bridge takes up the entire intersection. So it is the entire street. So in order to replace the bridge, we do have to close the area where the bridge is located, which is the intersection. So we'll be closing that. And I'm going to show you the detours in just a second. All right, so one of the great things about this bridge replacement is that it's actually going to provide a new and improved bridge for the neighborhood. And what that means in this particular spot is that the bridge is actually going to be smaller than the one that's out there today. And this is a rendering to show you what it's going to look like after the fact. But you can see that this bridge is much nicer looking in appearance. It's actually smaller, as I mentioned, and it fits better in the neighborhood. So you're going to get a nicer pedestrian feel with the bridge. You're also going to have new street lighting, as you can see here, better pedestrian access, so the new sidewalks and the curbs and gutters. You're also going to get a nice new bridge railing that you can see a little bit on the rendering there is actually open, so you can look through and look down into the creek. You can also see over the top fairly easily. It's very nice in terms of look and feel. We've used similar type bridge railings on the other bridges being replaced. It also, because it has these openings, is a little bit of a deterrent for graffiti. Not all the way, of course, because that's impossible, but a little bit. So that's a nicer neighborhood setting. And then there are also going to be 2 pockets of on-street landscaping, and I'll show you where those are in just a second. Okay, so how is this bridge going to be rebuilt? The good news for you is that in terms of bridge construction, this one is fairly easy, and it's also quieter than other bridge projects. So what they're going to do is they're going to relocate the utilities, which if you live close to the bridge, you've probably already seen the utility companies have started. They're just finishing that up this week and in the next couple of weeks. Then Granite Construction will come in. They're the ones that are actually going to replace the bridge. They're going to divert the creek water, so they're going to put it in a pipe, basically. And the reason for that is that we don't want the construction materials and debris to get in the creek water. They're going to remove the existing bridge. Now, the good news with this is that the existing bridge is made up partially of wood, which means that demoing it is a much easier process. It's also a much quieter process. Some of the bridges that have been demoed in Santa Barbara that have been concrete, when they come down, you hear it because it is loud. This one should be a little bit quieter. Then they're going to excavate the north side of the creek. Then they're going to drill holes for cast-in-place piles. This, too, is a little bit easier on the ears. And the reason for that is that normal pile driving, if you've ever heard it around the city, is a bang, bang, bang. You actually take it, basically an oversized hammer, and you bang the pile into the ground to support the bridge. This one, they drill a hole and they pour the concrete in to build the pile, which is the support for the bridge. So it's a quieter process. Then they're going to form and pour the concrete bridge abutments. They're the support beams that you see. And then they're going to form and pour the bridge deck, which is what you walk or drive on. So overall, since this bridge is being built in place and we don't have the pile driving, it should be quieter. Now, are you still going to hear it? Of course. But it's going to be a little bit better than, say, other bridges that we've worked on. And then after they do all of that, they're going to finish up the street work. So that's where they'll finish the sidewalks and the street lighting and some of that landscaping that I mentioned. Okay. So this map shows you the construction closures. Now, remember, as I mentioned before, get a little light here. Here's the bridge right here. This gray area is where they're going to close for the construction site. That's what those black bars are. That's where the streets are going to be closed. Near the bridge, there are going to be turnaround pockets. So if you live near the area and you drive towards there and you don't have a way to turn around, you can turn around right by the closure for the bridge. The streets leading up to the bridge on West Mason, Kimberly, and West Yananali on this side are going to be local traffic only. And the reason is that obviously we don't want through traffic to get it stuck in there and then have to turn around. On this side, on Chapala and West Yananali, there'll be the turnaround pockets like we mentioned. And then these two little dark green pockets, those are the new on-street landscaping pockets that will be going in after the bridge is built. So fairly simple. Oh, one more thing. You've probably already seen this because it's pretty obvious. This block of Mason Street is closed. And it's closed for a different project. It's closed for the La Entrada project. It's going to maintain the La Entrada, which is that new hotel project at down on Lower State Street. Yes. That's right. It's going to be La Entrada de Santa Barbara, which is a private project. It's not part of this project, but that closure is going to go through the summer, so we just wanted you to be aware of it. Okay. So how do you get information during the project? Well, as you know already, we've sent out a mailing and provided a fact sheet. We're going to do another mailing as we get closer to the end of the project, since this is a fairly short construction schedule. And we're going to give you an update, and we'll probably invite you to come out to the opening of the new bridge as well. During the construction, if there are utility outages, which we do anticipate, the utility companies are going to notify you with door hangers if you are going to have an outage. Now, that's something that they handle and they schedule, so they're the ones who have to notify you, but they'll be doing it via door hangers. You can find all of these materials, including the maps, on the website. And the website's very easy. It's the standard city website, which is santabarbaraca.gov. And then for this project, you just put / Chapala Bridge. You'll find all these materials. If you have a question during construction, you can call us. The number is 319-5666, and it's on the fact sheet. Leave us a message, and we'll call you back. We'll find out the answer to your question, and we'll call you right back. And then we'll also be updating the local media. So if you say, you know, I really don't want to pay attention, I just want to read the paper and see what's going on, we're going to let them know, too, so you can get the updates that way if you're interested. All right, one more to go. So this last slide is just a preview, if you will, of the road sign that we're going to be putting up to show the project construction. Gives you a little bit of that information that we just went over, the construction schedule this summer to the winter. And then it also gives you those same numbers again, the website address and our phone number if you have any questions.
So thanks everybody for coming. If you want to stick around and ask a question, I'll be here. Thanks.